Hello mga kababayan, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Laruan ni Obi-Wan. For this afternoon's toy review, we are going to take a look at a custom figure, something simple that you could do to this Injustice Dr. Fate figure that you already have in your collection. So if you are on the bench of purchasing the Black Adam Dr. Fate, then take a look at this modification or custom or kit bash or whatever you want to call it. So majority of the videos on YouTube, I've searched on ways so I could possibly look for tips and new procedures to really customize this action figure. But majority of the custom work that is done on a Dr. Fate figure is more on taking the figure apart and painting it different, just giving it a different wash, giving it a different paint job, but actually it's just the same figure, same parts. But what I really want to show right now is something that you could do in about 30 minutes. So first procedure, let's get immediately into it. If you already like the mold, you don't want to change the color scheme or anything on this figure, just make it more playable, more articulation points. Okay, so first thing that you have to do is to get rid of those handsets. So let's take a look at the basic handsets that this figure came with. So these two actually came off the figure, and that ball is that really source of aesthetic annoyance personally. So when I already had time and I was checking my list for custom figures to do, so Dr. Fate is the next one on my list. So immediately I just boiled a small bag of hot water wherein I could dunk both forearms for about 30 seconds and then take them off from the boiling cup of water and just pop these handsets out. So the replacement parts are really not fancy. So if you are also a fellow collector, then you have a part set of different handsets you have on board on different figures that you have purchased in your lifetime. So for example, in my case, I have different handsets from Marvel Legends and NECA. I can't really point out now whether from which character or which toy line or which figure I have used these handsets, but definitely this one is from a Marvel Legends Doctor Strange Wong figure. So that Wong figure had this thing on him, so I was not using this. It's just laying around in my parts bin, so I used it. So when you take out the handsets, then just do a proper fitting, matching the color tone that is visible on the figure. So that's going to be the ear, and somehow these handsets and that matches the color or the skin tone of this Dr. Fate figure. Anyway, if you want or wish to use a gloved handset, you are also free to do so. Black or blue, that is still okay. So next thing to do, of course, the fittings would be different. As you could see, the diameter of the peg on this Dr. Fate handsets would be bigger. The Marvel Legends, NECA, or whatever toy line would be smaller, but that could be easily fixed with just this simple solution. So it was taught to me by another YouTube reviewer. So just pop a little bit of hot glue onto those sockets. As you could see, that is the evidence. So I just glue this on. I'll be trimming that off later. Okay, so let's put this aside and let's move on to this area over here. So you're free to use different handsets on this figure. If you want a more non-magic handset, so you have this on board, and as evidence, you guys just could easily pop it off, and the glue stays on that peg area. Actually, it makes the diameter of the hand peg area really small, accommodating the handset that you're going to use. And just that way, you know, have a non-magical hand, an open hand for the right hand, and a fist on the right. And you still have an extra handset you could use later. Okay, so the last piece actually is going to be the skirt piece. So this is the skirt piece that I cut off from that figure using just a new blade for my X-Acto knife, the sharpest, the one that I had on board. So nothing really fancy, just cut on this area, just relieve this area to improve the articulation points on the legs. So as you could see right now, you have a lot of freedom or articulation points for this figure. So you could do a lot of poses with this figure: flight poses, action poses, magic poses, by freeing a lot of the space that is actually covered. But the caveat or the downside is you're going to leave some areas exposed like this, but that is covered by the cape, so one easy fix. And if you're going to display this on board, just after playing with it, of course, action figures are meant to be played with, so you're going to really play with this, so those areas are going to be really exposed. But once you display this action figure, just pull it down over the waist area, and there you go, nicely covered up. So you have now a great articulating figure with just about the just the custom points that you want to change. So that's the hands, and taking off the skirt piece. And if you wish to also, you're annoyed by that the eye sockets on this area, which is painted, you have white and flesh tone, and somehow does not look good to you, then you could paint it black. No need to be really fancy with the material that you use, just plain old Sharpie or whatever that you have on board that's going to stay on the eye sockets of that figure and won't peel off. Okay, so that is my simple mod for this Dr. Fate action figure. It is now playable and at the same time displayable. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and see you on the next custom action figure review.